When Charles Bennett, dressed in a simple hoodie and jeans, stepped into the high-end branch of his bank, he didn't expect judgment. He only wanted to withdraw some cash. But the bank manager scoffed within minutes, flagged him as suspicious, and refused the transaction. What the manager didn't know? Charles wasn't just a customer. He was the majority owner of the institution where he was denied service. 9 minutes later, with one phone call and a silent stare, the arrogant manager's world flipped upside down. This is the shocking story of how power, prejudice, and karma collided in a lobby. Charles Bennett had built his empire from the ground up. No handouts, no shortcuts. From a single-room apartment in Atlanta to owning one of the country's fastest-growing financial groups, he had never let people's assumptions stop him. Still, racism wasn't new to him. Even in boardrooms, he'd learned to swallow the discomfort when people mistook him for the help, or when clients insisted on speaking to the real boss. Today, he ran a low-key errand, visiting one of his branches, undercover. He liked to do that sometimes, to test how employees treated everyday customers. Charles entered the bank quietly. He waited in line like anyone else, holding a withdrawal slip for $12,000, petty cash by his standards. The branch manager, Mr. Donaldson, noticed Charles almost immediately, and not kindly. Wait a second and tell us where you're watching from, in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. When Charles reached the front, the teller looked nervous, glancing toward Mr. Donaldson before hesitantly calling out, "We need the manager for cash withdrawals over." $10,000. Donaldson approached with a forced smile, his eyes full of suspicion. "Sir," he said flatly, "I'm going to need some identification, and possibly a reason for this withdrawal." Charles handed over 2 forms of ID and a business card. Donaldson barely glanced at them. "This doesn't look right. We don't usually allow this kind of transaction without prior notice. And honestly, I'm not sure you have this kind of money in your account." He stepped away and whispered something to security. A guard began to approach slowly. Charles stayed calm. "I assure you, everything is in order. You may want to double-check my account details." Donaldson sneered. "I've dealt with people like you before. Big talk, no backing. Unless you can prove right now that you're not trying to scam us, I'll have to ask you to leave." The guard was now just a few feet away, his hand resting on his hip. Charles sighed and pulled out his phone. He dialed a private number, and within seconds, someone on the other end answered. "Linda, it's Charles. I'm at the Peachtree branch. We've got a serious customer service issue. I need the regional director and HR on the line. Put me on speaker." Donaldson rolled his eyes. "Sir, threatening to call someone won't—" "Quiet," Charles said firmly. "Just wait." Within 90 seconds, Donaldson's phone rang. He looked down, his expression changing as he saw the regional director's name flash on the screen. He answered, trying to sound composed. "Hello?" His eyes widened. Yes, he's here. I wasn't aware. I didn't know." Then the final blow. The voice on the other end said loud enough for Charles to hear. "That's not just a client. That's Charles Bennett, the CEO, and your boss." Donaldson turned pale. His lips trembled. "I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't realize." Charles locked eyes with him. "You didn't care to realize. That's the problem." Security backed away instantly. Donaldson stammered, trying to explain, but Charles raised his hand. "Save it," he said. "It's not just about me. How many others have you profiled? How many times have you assumed someone didn't belong based on how they looked?" Donaldson's words fell apart. "Please, I didn't mean—" Charles cut in. "You meant every second of it, and it ends now." He looked to the staff and said calmly, "This branch is now under review. And Mr. Donaldson, you're officially relieved of your duties. Effective immediately. HR will follow up." A stunned silence swept the lobby. As Charles walked out of the bank, customers began clapping, not just because someone powerful had stood, up to prejudice, but because, for once, justice had been swift and undeniable. The story spread quickly online. Some applauded the CEO for standing his ground. Others were forced to reflect, how often do we judge someone's worth based on appearance? Charles never wanted attention. He only wanted fairness for everyone. That day, he reminded an entire institution that respect isn't reserved for suits, ties, or skin color. It should be a given for all. If you enjoyed this story and thought it was provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts. In the comments, take care.